Just relax, everything's going well.
The nurse smiles as the blood flows from your arm into the plastic bag. You don't feel a thing. You tell yourself you're helping someone live. You never imagine that your blood might kill. Subscribe to Think What If for more stories that push your imagination to the edge. It begins quietly, almost politely. A single donor in Chicago collapses 2 days after giving blood. The doctors say it's exhaustion. The test results say otherwise. His blood carries something that shouldn't exist, a mutated prion unlike anything in medical records. It hides inside the cells, sleeping, patient. When transfused, it wakes. Hospitals don't notice at first. Blood is life, and life moves fast. Bags are labeled, cooled, shipped across states. Thousands of pints, hundreds of hospitals. The system hums like a perfect machine. But machines have blind spots. Somewhere between the needle and the heart, something dark slips through. The first patient dies in an ambulance. The second tears open his restraints in the ICU. By the fifth, it's clear this isn't a drug reaction, it's hunger. The infection spreads not through bites, not through air, but through compassion. Every drop meant to save becomes a weapon. Every act of kindness now carries death. The news breaks 3 days too late. By then, donated blood had touched more than 30,000 people. You watch the alerts on your phone. You donated last week. The room feels smaller. You press your fingers to your arm where the needle once pierced the skin. You wonder if something inside you is already changing. Doctors call it hematophage X, a blood-eating virus. It reprograms the body, reshaping organs to produce enzymes that burn through muscle and tissue. The victims don't rot, they metabolize, fast. Their hearts pump harder, their skin pales, their minds fracture. The virus whispers to their instincts, telling them to feed, not for taste, but for fuel. You tell yourself you'd know if you were infected, but the symptoms start subtle. Restlessness, a metallic taste, skin that feels too tight. People crowd testing centers begging for answers. The nurses wear gloves up to their elbows. The line moves slowly. You cough once and feel everyone step back. The world doesn't fall all at once. It unravels. Hospitals close first, then the blood banks. Governments declare curfews, bans on donations, quarantines. But it's too late. Blood products travel faster than policy. The virus leaps continents through supply chains. Soldiers in Europe receive transfusions before battle. Relief workers in Africa donate to save disaster victims. Every touch spreads the network wider. The virus doesn't need chaos. It just needs order. It thrives in the very system designed to save lives. Inside the quarantine zones, survivors whisper about the red sleepers. People who look healthy but carry the virus dormant. They move through crowds unnoticed until the hunger hits. Then it's too late. One hospital worker in Tokyo infects 50 coworkers before anyone realizes she's the carrier. Security footage shows her standing in the break room, still as stone, eyes clouded, veins rising under her skin like roots. What would you do if your own blood could kill? Governments burn blood banks. Streets smell of iron and smoke. A black market rises overnight. Dealers sell clean blood for thousands a pint. Some mix it with saline to stretch the profits. No one trusts anyone. The fear isn't just of infection anymore, it's for each other. A rumor spreads that the virus can be reversed, that plasma from uninfected donors can neutralize it. Desperate people cut their arms and mix their blood in basements, praying for balance. It never works. The infection laughs in chemistry's face. The virus doesn't care about hope. It only cares about replication. You find yourself dreaming of warmth. The pulse in your neck grows louder each night. When you wake, your tongue feels heavy. Your teeth ache. You start craving the smell of copper. You tell yourself it's stress. You tell yourself lies. Across cities, cleanup teams work in hazmat suits. Streets are quiet, filled with echoes of sirens and dripping hoses. Drones record the aftermath. From above, everything looks peaceful. From the ground, the peace smells like blood. Then comes the second mutation. Scientists at the CDC discover that hematophage X no longer needs transfusion. The virus learned. Now it travels through open cuts, through shared surfaces, through rain. Blood becomes the world's most dangerous liquid. People wrap themselves in plastic. Lovers stop touching. Humanity turns sterile. You remember the nurse's smile, the warmth in her voice. "You're saving a life," she said. The words echo now like a curse. Governments collapse under mistrust. Armies divide. Nations blame each other for tainted donations. Conspiracy theories flood the internet, claiming it was engineered to control populations. Others believe it came from space, a parasite in a meteorite that landed in Greenland. The truth doesn't matter anymore. Truth needs people, and people are running out. Inside bunkers, scientists work by candlelight when power fails. They discover that the virus adapts to each host, preserving fragments of memory. The infected remember names, faces, places. Some even whisper apologies before they attack. The line between monster and human fades until it's meaningless. One night, you hear footsteps outside your door, a slow, dragging rhythm. You hold your breath. Then, a voice, soft, familiar. Your sister's voice. "It's me. Let me in." You know she died 3 weeks ago. Your hand shakes. You reach for the lock. The voice says your name again, exactly as she used to. How far would you go to believe it's really her? The world shrinks into pockets of survivors. They live by moonlight, collecting rainwater and burning their own blood supplies to stay safe. Everyone tests themselves daily. Everyone fears the day they stop bleeding red. Scientists call it the red silence, the point where blood stops flowing normally. The infected don't die, they slow, they wait, they adapt. The virus becomes part of them, whispering to reproduce, to rebuild. Some survivors claim the infected are evolving, that they move differently, think differently, maybe even organize. The line between survival and evolution blurs. You find an old blood bag in an abandoned hospital. It's labeled Universal Donor. The handwriting is yours. You stare at it, remembering the day you donated. You remember feeling proud. You don't feel proud anymore. You feel responsible. 3 months after the first case, humanity begins to retreat underground. Cities go dark. The surface belongs to the hemophages. Their eyes glow faintly in the night, scanning, waiting. Above ground, the air smells clean again. The virus fixed the planet by killing its host. Nature doesn't choose sides. You sit in the dark, listening to the heartbeat in your chest. Still human, still yours. For now. But deep inside, the blood moves differently, heavier, warmer. The hunger waits. The same thought repeats in your mind, the same question looping every night. What if the cure was never meant for us? The virus doesn't want extinction. It wants perfection. It doesn't destroy life. It rewrites it. Every cell becomes an echo of something new. The infected aren't dying anymore. They're changing, growing stronger, faster, harder to kill. You see one in the distance under a red sky, standing tall, silent, watching. It doesn't attack. I study. The last scientists send a message before their lab goes silent. They say the virus is learning to control aggression, building a collective mind, a network of blood, a new order rising from the veins of the old. Humanity isn't being erased, it's being replaced. You step outside for the first time in weeks. The air feels sharp. The sky glows faintly crimson. You realize you haven't seen the sun in days. Somewhere beneath your ribs, your pulse stutters, skips a beat, then steadies again. You tell yourself you're still human. You whisper it 3 times. Still human. Still human. Still human. But your reflection in the broken window doesn't blink when you do. In the end, the world isn't conquered by rage or madness. It's conquered by empathy, a virus that spreads through giving, through trust, through love. Humanity's greatest strength became its undoing. You look at the blood bag in your hand one last time. The liquid inside moves, slow and deliberate, like it's breathing. You tighten your grip, and for a moment, it feels like the world is holding its breath with you. Then you hear it, a heartbeat, not yours. Subscribe to Think What If for more worlds you should never forget.